Yo, 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 what's good, fam? Your boy's back, and today we got the most addicting, most psychologically deep, and straight up uncomfortable breakdown in hip-hop history. We diving into Kendrick Lamar's Meet the Grams.
Suggest some ayahuasca, strip the ego from the bottom.
Shit.
It's almost said trollingly in a way, like therapy's
like this time, we flipping the script and we roasting Drake so hard his Air Force One's gonna melt. This ain't just a diss track, this is a diagnosis. This is Kendrick playing therapist, shaman, and big brother all at once, and the bars he drops on Drake, they ain't just insults, they interventions wrapped in psychological warfare with a bow made of pure savagery. If you're ready for the most high energy, evidence-packed, comedy-filled, and straight-up hilarious deep dive you ever heard, smash that like, hit subscribe, and buckle up, because we about to roast this man from Toronto all the way to the Shadow Realm and back. Let's start with the bar that had the whole culture like, wait, is Kendrick trying to help this man or roast him into therapy? And I like to understand because your house was never a home.
And I like to understand because your house was never a home.
Bruh, Kendrick ain't just clowning, he's analyzing. He's saying, Drake, you grew up with money, with fame, with all the trappings, but your house was never a home. That's a psychological gut punch. He's highlighting the disconnect, the emptiness, the lack of nurture in Drake's upbringing. But let's add some roast to this diagnosis. Drake really out here living in a 50,000 square foot mansion with an NBA regulation basketball court and still can't find peace. My man got a house so big he probably gets lost on the way to his own bathroom at 3 a.m. and ends up in a whole different wing crying to Marvin's room by accident. He got 21 bathrooms but can't wash away the feeling of emotional emptiness. That's crazy. Drake's house probably got a therapy room, a meditation room, and a stare at my old text messages from 2009 room. Bruh got chandeliers worth more than most people's houses, but the only thing hanging in his heart is unresolved childhood trauma. You can't feng shui your way out of daddy issues, my guy. And yo, Kendrick's really saying, I get it. I see why you act the way you do. But I'm saying Drake probably got inspirational quotes on his mansion walls that say live, laugh, love, but he can't do none of them fully. He got a wine cellar full of expensive bottles, but he's still drinking the cheap stuff. Emotional unavailability. And if you know Drake's catalog, you know he's always rapping about his home life, about feeling alone, about the pain of a broken family. Kendrick's flipping that vulnerability into a weapon, but he's also showing empathy. He's not just saying you soft, he's saying, I get it. I see why you act the way you do. That's a different level of diss. That's a different level of roast. And yo, this ain't just about Drake. This is classic hip hop. Broken homes, loneliness, the impact of family on an artist's emotional health. This is the stuff that built the genre. Kendrick's using empathy and analysis rather than pure aggression, leveraging Drake's vulnerability as a diss weapon. He's critiquing the performative ideas of success in hip-hop, pointing out that material wealth don't guarantee a nurturing environment. Money's always been an illusion, but that's the life Drake's used to. Kendrick saying you blinded by the bag, but you can't see what really matters. That's a roast and a lesson. Now let's get to the next bar that had the timeline in shambles. 37, but you showing up as a 7-year-old.
37, but you showing up as a 7-year-old.
Oof, that's a direct shot at Drake's emotional maturity. Kendrick saying you a grown man, but you act like a child. But let me add the roast. Drake really 37 years old arguing with teenagers on Instagram? My man's pushing 40 and still getting into beef with people who weren't even born when he was on Degrassi. He's out here with crow's feet and beef with 21-year-olds. That's not Six God energy, that's I need a nap but I'm too petty energy. Drake the type of dude to slide in someone's DMs with you up at 37, and when they don't respond in 5 minutes, he makes a whole album about it, acting like spoiled milk. My man got a beard full of gray hairs but his emotional intelligence still in elementary school. And Kendrick's reference to fear and the 7-17-27 progression, Drake never made that journey. He got stuck at 7 and just kept adding zeros to his bank account. He's basically 7 years old but with access to a black card and no parental supervision. That's dangerous, fam. Drake probably still sleeping with a nightlight, but it's a $50,000 custom-made LED installation. He probably got a security blanket, but it's made of Egyptian cotton and costs more than a Honda Civic. Bruh's emotional age and his actual age got the same relationship as his music and authenticity. They don't match.
Crazy.
The age contrast is both literal and figurative. And if you know Kendrick's motif from Fear 7-17-27, you know he's saying Drake never made that journey. He's stuck. He's stunted. This diss goes beyond surface insults. It's targeting perceived stunted personal growth rooted in public persona. 7 symbolizes the beginning of self-awareness. Kendrick juxtaposes it with an adult failing to evolve. That's a roast and a diagnosis. And yo, let's talk about the lifestyle bars. You got gambling problems, drinking problems, pill popping and spending problems, bad with money, whorehouse.
Gambling problems, drinking problems, pill popping and spending problems, bad with money, whorehouse, soliciting women problems.
Kendrick's calling out Drake's public behaviors, gambling deals, steak, big spending, rumored substance abuse, and women. But let me roast this properly. Drake really got a gambling sponsorship and thought nobody would notice. He's basically admitting he got a problem. That's like getting sponsored by a rehab facility. You're not flexing, you're telling on yourself. My man's out here losing millions on sports bets on live stream like it's a personality trait. Bruh, that's not living your best life. That's funding your therapist's vacation home. And the drinking, Drake probably got a wine collection worth millions, but he's still texting his exes at 2 a.m. like he drinking $2 Chuck. He got top shelf liquor but bottom shelf decision making.
Right.
That's a terrible combination, King. Bad with money? Bro, Drake made like $400 million and somehow still got financial problems? That's impressive. That's like losing a game of Monopoly when you're the only one playing. How you fumble the bag when you literally printing bags? My man could have bought a small country, but instead he bought 47 chains he'll never wear and an owl pendant that probably cost more than fixing Flint's water crisis. And whorehouse? Kendrick really said your crib got the energy of a place where transactions happen. That's diabolical. Drake's mansion
crazy.
really out here looking like a nightclub, a casino, and a therapy office had a baby. And that baby grew up with issues. He's saying you got all these vices, all these problems, and you think money gonna fix it? That's the lifestyle layer. But it goes deeper. He's suggesting financial recklessness, tying personal problems to the pitfalls of rap wealth and fame culture. He's critiquing the normalization of excess within hip-hop and celebrity culture, hinting these problems reflect deeper emptiness. And the way Kendrick stacks these issues, it's relentless. It's overwhelming. It's like he's reading Drake's therapy intake form out loud. But Kendrick don't stop there. He goes for the jugular. Soliciting women problems, therapy's a lovely start. On the surface, he's saying Drake's relationships are transactional, shallow, centered around clout and validation. But let's add the roast. Drake really going to therapy and then immediately telling everybody about it in his songs. Bruh, that's not growth, that's promotional material. He's treating therapy like a feature on a track. Yeah, I got trauma, but make sure you stream it on all platforms.
Right.
He probably asked his therapist if they wanted to be credited as a producer. My man's therapist probably got a platinum plaque on their wall for most sessions turned into song lyrics.
Now, Mic Drop TV, you know he not crediting nobody on his album. He's stealing all that money. We already know how he do with all his artists. He not giving you no extra money. He gonna use a therapist, but he ain't crediting shit. Let's keep going.
Drake's breakthrough moments probably come with a beat attached. Can you imagine his therapy sessions? So Drake, let's talk about your fear of abandonment. Hold up, Doc, this is a bar. Let me write this down. But then he references Drake's open discussions about therapy. Kendrick applauds but downplays the progress as only a start. He's positioning himself as both critic and counselor, placing the bar in a context of needed reform. He's touching on themes of masculinity, vulnerability, and healing now prevalent in modern rap. He's saying, therapy's cool, but you need more than that, bruh. And then Kendrick drops the nuke. But I suggest some ayahuasca. Strip the ego from the
Some ayahuasca, strip the ego from the bottom.
Shit. It's almost said trollingly in a way. Like therapy's hard.
Kendrick really said therapy ain't enough for you, bruh. You need the jungle tea. You
Yeah,
need to go to
that's crazy.
Peru, sit in a circle, drink the medicine, and meet the demons you've been avoiding since Degrassi. Let me roast this. Drake probably needs ayahuasca, but he turned the ceremony into an Instagram story. He'd be in the jungle, ego dissolving, seeing his past lives, confronting his shadow self, and still find a way to post about it with the caption, healing different, #ayahuasca season. He'd probably ask the shaman if they can play his new album during the ceremony. Kendrick's basically saying,
Ayahuasca
your problem's
season
so
is
deep,
crazy.
regular therapy can't reach. You need something that makes you throw up your ego, literally. That's a roast and a spiritual intervention. That's like saying you need to meet God and apologize in person. Drake would probably try to sample the ayahuasca chants for his next album. He'd turn spiritual awakening into a vibe. Yeah, I saw my ancestors and they told me I'm still the sixth god. Bruh, ayahuasca is associated with spiritual journeys and ego death. Kendrick prompting deeper healing, not just therapy. He's saying Drake's problems stem from ego, insecurity, and refusal to self-examine. He's suggesting Drake needs drastic measures to confront his real self, amplifying the attack by offering a solution. Kendrick subverts the typical rap diss by invoking a remedy associated with introspection and inner work. He's saying, you need to go to the jungle, drink the tea, and meet your real self, my guy. That's a roast and a spiritual intervention, but Kendrick don't just clown, he tries to empathize. I try to empathize with you because I know that you ain't been through nothing.
I try to empathize with you, cause I know that you ain't been through nothing.
I know that you ain't been through nothing.
Trying to empathize with you, right? But I can't.
This man Kendrick is striking deep. When he said, yo, it can get personal, like we can really take it there, he was not lying.
Nah, bro, hella personal, bro.
He's drawing a stark line between his upbringing, poverty, violence in Compton, and Drake's privileged youth, Toronto's Forest Hill. But let me add the comedy. Drake really grew up in Forest Hill, one of the richest neighborhoods in Canada, and still found a way to make sad music. My man had a good upbringing and chose sadness. That's commitment to the aesthetic. He probably had a stable home life and was like, nah.
Hold up, I ain't know he grew up in Forest Hill. So he grew up in Forest Hill with a Jewish mom. He was technically a child actor, and he out here talking like he been through something, or he one of them ones. This dude is horrible. Like we just get out the culture, my boy.
This ain't giving me enough material. Let me manufacture some trauma. Kendrick grew up dodging bullets. Drake grew up dodging his mom asking if he finished his homework. They are not the same. Kendrick witnessed gang violence. Drake witnessed his dad missing his bar mitzvah. Again, not the same. Drake, the type of dude to rap about, started from the bottom when the bottom was a middle-class home with a pool. Bruh, you started from the middle and went up. That's still impressive, but don't act like you was in the trenches. The only trench you knew was the one your landscaper dug for the koi pond. And Kendrick saying he has to try to empathize because Drake's struggles are so first world. Like, okay, so you felt lonely in your big house? You felt misunderstood at private school? Your dad wasn't around enough even though he was around sometimes? I'm trying, bruh, but it's hard when I literally survived Section 8. He's calling out the impact of class, showing how life experience shapes authenticity and hardship in rap. He's offering reluctant empathy, marking the diss as patient and calculated instead of impulsive. Right. He's implying real pain and growth are prerequisites for wisdom. Drake lacks this foundation. That's a roast and a lesson. And then the celebrity roast. Crave entitlement, but want to be liked so bad that it's puzzling.
Really take it there, he was not lying.
Nah, bro, hella personal, bro.
Crave entitlement, but wanna be like so bad that it's puzzling.
Kendrick is breaking you down and now trying to build you back up.
No dominance. Let's recap moments when you didn't fit in. No secret handshakes with your friend.
Crave entitlement, no dominance. You're not a real man, so he's bringing that around, but also sexual, no dominance as well.
Kendrick accuses Drake of simultaneously wanting power, entitlement.
Remember when you couldn't fit in, secret handshakes with your friends, and if you ain't from nowhere, if you ain't from the block, you don't know how to dap it up. You don't know how to dap that up. And I don't care if you're on the West Coast or East Coast, if you're from whatever block you from, it's a certain handshake. That's just how we communicate. Let's keep going.
And universal approval, exposing insecurity.
Crazy, bro.
But let me roast this psychology. Drake really out here wanting to be king, but also wanting everybody to like him. Bruh, pick a lane. You can't be a villain and everybody's friend. That's not how this works. That's like wanting to be a dictator, but also prom king. You can't have the crown and the popularity vote. Well, you can, but it makes you look confused. Drake wants the respect of a street dude, but the likability of a pop star. He wants the credibility of a rapper, but the mainstream appeal of Justin Bieber, who's literally his friend, which is perfect. He wants people to fear him, but also invite him to brunch. My guy, that's not a brand. That's an identity crisis. He's out here wanting to be taken seriously as a threat while simultaneously making TikTok dances go viral. He wants to be the sixth god, but also the guy you'd bring home to mom. He's trying to be hard, but his whole aesthetic is soft. It's giving, I want to be a bad boy, but I also want to be validated by everyone, including my enemies. That's confusing.
Facts.
And Kendrick finds this puzzling, not because it's complex, but because it's contradictory and sad. Drake's like a Rubik's Cube, but all the colors are different shades of beige. You can solve it, but why would you want to? He's making a poignant critique of Drake's public persona, suggesting contradictions between entitlement, likability, and genuine security. Kendrick's attack becomes a psychosocial analysis, shifting the feud from bars to character dissection. He's illuminating how fame sometimes brings more anxiety and longing, not internal peace. That's a roast and a TED Talk. Let's pause for a second. If you're feeling this breakdown, smash that like, drop a comment, and hit subscribe. We just getting started, and the next layers go even deeper. Now, let's compare Kendrick's mode of critique to historic diss tracks. Most classic disses, they go for the jugular. Pac on Hit 'Em Up, pure rage, no empathy, just destruction. Nas on Ether, mockery, humiliation, career-ending levels of disrespect. Eminem, He'll roast your whole family tree, your ancestors, and your future kids before they're even born, and never once offer a solution. But Kendrick, he's different. He's not just trying to destroy Drake, he's trying to diagnose him, treat him, and roast him all at the same time. That's multitasking on a level we've never seen.
And I'll say this is going to be the end where I actually give y'all my opinion on what actually is going on. The difference between Kendrick and everybody else. And shout out my man Mike Drop TV. Y'all know me, it's your boy Jet Ski G. We back with another banger. Is more systematic. He's more technical as far as his mind. Even the way that he raps, he's more technical in his minds. And when I say technical, it's like a mixture. Eminem can be very technical. Especially like the older Eminem, like it's very technical rap. But it can be very systematic the way he breaks you down. Eminem don't systematically necessarily break you down. He breaks you down very systematic, almost in a way that Jay-Z would actually do it. So, I mean, just putting together maybe an Eminem and a Jay-Z, and that's how you go into battle raps is actually insane. Like, you get technical and you get you bar it up like Eminem, but you're systematic and you can actually think deeper and look into somebody's psyche and see the problems that's going on and talk to them. That's Jay, which is different. But I didn't know that Drake actually fooled me. He had me fooled. I didn't know he grew up in the hills of Canada in a very rich area. I knew his mom was Jewish, so I kind of thought that. But the way he kicked it on all his rhymes, I ain't know he was actually in a rich area as a rich kid actor. And then he went on to be a rapper who kicked it like, that's why he ain't relate to his black dad. So y'all drop it in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about that. It's your boy Jet Ski G. If ain't nobody told you they love y'all, you know I love y'all. Let me know. Did y'all think Drake actually had some struggle growing up by the way he rapped? Drop it in the comments. I want to know that. Also, I'm going to drop another banger. That banger going to be right here. Make sure you click this video. I'm going to catch you in this video right here. It's your boy Jet Ski G. I'm out, y'all.